Welcome back once again, everyone. It would seem that DC Films will follow a 10-year plan similar to what Disney and Marvel have done. Now, I just want to go through this really quickly here, just to give you an idea of what it is they have in the works, and then I'm going to put in my 2 cents on where I stand on this. Warner Brothers Discovery ideas for its DC movies are becoming a little clearer after CEO David Zaslav announced there will be a codified plan for the future of DC movies. As part of Warner Brothers Discovery quarterly financials, CEO David Zaslav took the stage to answer questions about the company's future, particularly in light of the news that it was canceling Batgirl despite the movie being mostly finished. Rather than announce any kind of retreat for DC movies, Zaslav instead says the company has done a reset and will follow a 10-year plan just for DC that will be similar to what Disney and Kevin Feige have done for Marvel. We have done a reset. We've restructured the business where we're going to focus, where there will be a team with a 10-year plan focusing just on DC. It's very similar to the structure that Alan Horn and Bob Iger put together very effectively with Kevin Feige at Disney. He also says that they will build a long-term, much stronger, sustainable growth business out of DC, and that the company is going to focus on quality over quantity. We're not going to release any film before it's ready. We're not going to release a film to make a quarter. We're not going to release a film. The focus is going to be how do we make each of these films in general as good as possible. The Warner Brothers Discovery CEO cited films already in the works like Black Adam, Shazam, and Flash. We've seen them, we think they're terrific, and we think we can make them even better. There were plenty of questions as to the future of DC movies after it was announced Batgirl would not be released in theaters or HBO Max. The film, which cost $90 million, already finished filming and had a cast that included Leslie Grace, J.K. Simmons, Brendan Fraser, and Michael Keaton. HBO Max also began quietly removing other movies from its streaming service, sparking concerns. The studio will be backing away from original scripted content, but Zaslav has cited DC, particularly characters like Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, Trinity, as pillars of the newly formed Warner Brothers Discovery. We're also going to be focusing on characters like Superman as well as Joker, which announced a release date for the sequel Joker Folie à Deux, which will have Lady Gaga joining the cast. Time will tell what Warner Brothers Discovery 10-year plan for DC will look like. The company is standing behind its existing theatrical releases like Shazam, Aquaman, and The Flash, which will figure into the company's plans somehow. Elsewhere in the financials, Warner Brothers Discovery announced it will be merging HBO Max and Discovery Plus into a new streaming service that will be released in summer 2023. So that's the long and short of it. DC Films planning a 10-year plan similar to what Disney and Marvel have done. Now, on one hand, that's a good thing because they want to get away from the awful decisions that are being made. Before this merger, Warner Brothers had a lot of terrible things in the works. They wanted to do everything possible to just destroy their brand. Now they seem to want to do it a little better. The issue I will state though is that if you look at what has happened with Disney/Marvel, basically the MCU, they've literally written themselves into a corner that they can't seem to get out of. When the MCU first began, they had a plan, they were moving towards something, they introduced characters, some movies were great, some movies were hit and miss, it built up to something. Now that they have gone past that, they keep putting out a lot of garbage that nobody's interested in. Their MCU Phase 4, more like Phase 4, has been terrible, filled with literally every movie they've put out has flopped, has been a terrible take on everything. One could say that Spider-Man is the exception to the rule, but that's mostly Sony than Marvel. So Sony get more of the props for that. But everything else has just been a total disaster, and they seem intent on doing it. I personally think if DC wants to follow some sort of plan, what would make really good sense for them? See, DC's problem was that they tried to follow Marvel too quickly without doing anything for themselves. Okay, we already have the Snyderverse. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of it. I wouldn't say I completely hated it, but I'm not really confident about it at all, because one of my biggest concerns when it comes to the Snyderverse, especially when it comes to Superman, is that it was too dark and gritty and grey and grimy and all of this sort of stuff, when it shouldn't have been like that. What you should have done was make it more like how it's supposed to be. So if you want to wrap that up, you could just do like a Trinity movie with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Well, after that last Wonder Woman movie, who knows what they're going to do with that? Or you could just do like a World's Finest with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck coming back. Because I don't know if they want to go ahead with Henry Cavill as Superman. Maybe just do one more movie with him and done if you want to do that. But then you could follow something else. I think what DC could do is go back to stories in their comics, stories that, certain events that really had a massive impact on the DC universe, not the crap that they're putting out now. You just stay as far away from that garbage as possible. But look at what stories that they have actually done before that you could really incorporate and actually follow it from the comics and put that into what is being done here. You could follow that as a 10-year plan and make something really good. Once you do that properly, you will have something to build on. And then after that 10-year plan, you can say to yourself, well, okay, we're just going to have to do a couple little Elseworlds movies here and there. But if you follow too closely behind Marvel, you will write yourself into a corner. Marvel had success based on the MCU, the characters, the stories, the things that they did. Now that has ended, they've decided to try and piggyback off of that success by putting together some of the worst content anybody has ever seen, and they keep acting like you're supposed to love it regardless. It doesn't make any kind of sense to anybody at all. All you're showing is that you're incompetent to do anything. Overall, as I say, when it comes to this 10-year plan, if DC decides to follow too closely to what Disney and Marvel have done, I don't have a lot of hope for it. If they decide to follow their own way of doing something and put something good into it and follow the actual comic books that make this as they are, then they have a shot at it. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.